Welcome, everyone. Welcome to race 12 of 20 in the Firestone Champ Car Challenger Series season. What a frantic first half of the season it's been, and it's only been more chaotic since. Coming here to Gateway Motorsports Park here in Madison, Illinois, it's time for the FedEx 300. With 9 races to go, including tonight, it's time to start moving into action. Any plans you have on trying to get into the top 4, that's the goals for everyone. Rachel Koivuniemen currently leads the championship by 9 points over Espacio Megalos, Jake Carter in the top 4, Maria Chavez, Nera Takarasi, Felicia Zappa, Isabel Lantra, Isabel Espinoza, Katerina Milinkovic, all in a tight fight. That's 9 names battling for 4 spots at the moment. Can others add their name to the fighting? We're going to find out here over 240 laps, 300 miles around this 1.25 mile racetrack. And indeed, it is the driver that won last time out in Nazareth at the front of the field. Isabel Espinoza leads the field to green alongside Asada Quito. Espinoza on pole position after winning in Nazareth, trying to make some massive headways in short order as well. The Escuderia Guia driver looking to go back-to-back. No one's done it so far this season in the Challenger Series. First time for everything, though. Felicia Zappa, pole sitter last time out at Nazareth, fell out due to a gearbox failure. Another good starting position for the Italian. Starts third alongside Katrina Ochoa, who was fastest in practice early yesterday. Keisha Fox, who had a phenomenal run in Nazareth 7 days ago, got on the podium 7 days ago. We'll try to do the same from 5th on the grid alongside Valerie Fang, who has returned from an excursion in Michigan for the Champ Car World Series Chevrolet 500 there last weekend. Maria Chavez and Rachel Koivuniemen make up row number 4. Keep an eye on that row 4 fight between those two. Karina Sakurauchi and Bianca Lucero round out the top 10. Bianca Lucero fitting in just fine. Her first start in the Challenger Series since removing herself from the Champ Car World Series. Obsidian Racing Team going to try to have both those cars top 10 by the end of this race. Natalia Kurachenko, Seth Smith Jr., they're your tops. They're your 6th row, top 12. Kira Moore, Katerina Milinkovic in row 7. Then row 8 is filled with Dale Blanco, who did not have a great time in Nazareth, alongside Karina Amara. Sonia Walker and Sora Hoshino sit in row number 9. Then it's Maria Damata and Yumina Mizuno rounding out the top 20. Roberta Crown Jr. and Mia Vitsut sit in row 11 ahead of Rika Venäläinen and Jake Carter, who sit in row 12. That qualifying effort for all 4 of those drivers. We're hoping now to climb through the field quickly. This has been a track where passing has not been difficult if you're in the pack. It's once you get forward that it gets a little bit tougher. We'll see how that is with 33 cars. Isabel Lantra, who has had a massive skid since starting off hot with the first race win of the season in Adelaide and leading the points for a few races, trying to prevent that backwards skid, but that's going to be hard to do. Starting in row 13 alongside Rex Riley, Jace Clark in row 14 alongside Amity Pulsatrix, Yuya Ishii in row 15 alongside Nera Takarasi, who finished 2nd a week ago. Espacio Megalos, another bad qualifying effort for Faceporia. It's a row 16 lockout for Megalos and Luisa Flores for Faceporia. Arashi Seto will start this race from 33rd in dead last in this field. But again, the conversation is in the points. It is 9 points separating Koivuniemen and Megalos. The top 9 split by 56 points, which is going to be very interesting. Kira Moore, 70 points behind. You start seeing the rift between those that are in that conversation and those pretty well out of it right now with 9 to go. Kira Moore in 10th. Luisa Flores, 81 points. The drift of Koivuniemen right now in 11th. Karina Amara in 12th. Maria Damata 13th. Karina Sakurauchi in 14th. Almost 100 points clear. It's a huge fight all the way through. And we're going to see even more of it as racing gets underway. It's time to send to track sites. Let's go and listen to those most famous words in all of motorsports here in Gateway.
Drivers, start your engines.
33 cars, set to do battle here in the shadow of St. Louis, across the Mississippi River in Madison, Illinois. 11 races, 11 different race winners. It's been a special time period. Do we see a breakthrough second race win for one of the drivers that have already won so far this year? Or do we get another new driver? A lot of new faces, a lot of faces that are looking for that first win. Quito, Ochoa, both of them front and center. Keisha Fox also in that mix. Same with Valerie Fang. Anyone's game with 9 races to go. The pace car is in pit lane. It's almost showtime for the FedEx 300 out of turn number 4. It's under the control of Espinoza, who goes now. Green flag flies, and away we go. Quito looking pretty good on that launch there. Had it timed and ready to go. Oblonged circuit here, not symmetrical. Espinoza gets the advantage out of turn 2. But the FedEx 300 is underway as they fly around the wider and faster turns 3 and 4. Everyone jockeying for position. Quito looking to hold on a second, and does. Really good look there. Felicia Zappa trying to hold on now to the 3rd spot. Should be able to do so through 3 and 4. Close fighting though all the way through. Keisha Fox up to 3rd, Zappa down to 4th. Look at Maria Chavez making her way forward. Up to 3rd. Sorry, up to 4th, excuse me. Getting around Felicia Zappa for that 4th spot. And almost to the inside of Keisha Fox there too. You're gonna notice that we did not have all 33 cars present in this race. And you see why, bottom of the screen, that is Isabel Lantra, who did not take the start. That's a huge concern for Lantra, who we talked about needing to have a good points day. Not on track at all. Not taking the start here means 0 points, which is a nightmare scenario for Lantra. Zappa in 5th, just ahead of Katrina Ochoa. Marina Sakurachi battling with Rachel Clevenamy for the 7th spot at the moment. With them ahead of Valerie Fang, right now sitting in 9th and being the lone flag carrier for Phoenix Motorsports. Bianca Lucero, right where she started, 10th place, ahead of Natalia Kurachenko and Kira Moore, who sits in the top 12 at the moment. And you see still side by side, a little bit further down the order, teammates here, Damata in that yellow and blue, Roberto Crown Jr. in that Centos, number 10. Both of them for Atomic Autosport. Sonia Walker shadowing as well. Sitting in the 16th spot, battling with Karina Amara. And there's Dale Blanco, Jace Clark, Espacio Megalos making some moves. Everyone's still jockeying though for positions down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. Everyone's still close together. It is Espinoza out front, starting this race the same way she finished in Nazareth, and that is with a commanding control of the front spot. Keisha Fox, though, also in the same pursuit that she was in leaving Nazareth, and that is strong presence front of the field, up to 2nd place and applying pressure to the 26 car. And Keisha Fox really wanting to make inroads here. Going to look to the inside through 1 and 2. Door is open, and we're not going to have the domination we saw 7 days ago. Keisha Fox seemingly Cup Series bound in 2025, wants a win in 2024. She's got the race lead here, a lap led for the 62. Now it's about if Espinosa can respond. Sadaquito sitting in third place ahead of Maria Chavez. All three of the Aguia cars in fine form here to start off Gateway. It was not that way for Ochoa in Nazareth. Struggled to really break in, ended up having to settle for 14th place, while their teammates were first and fourth. Still struggling at the moment, being threatened here by Sakurauchi. Outside lane seems to be a little bit stronger here on 3 and 4, which is what they're going through right now. Keep in mind, that is the points leader, Rachel Koivanami, shadowing just behind in 8th. Ochoa holding on, defending that 6th spot pretty well from the Verizon Team Impulse car. Right now, Keisha Fox already trying to put some separation between herself and Espinosa here. Wild stuff early on. We're already 13 laps into this race. Make that 14 laps into this race for the race leader. Rex Riley from 26th to 32nd. Qualified 16th, but a 10-place grid drop for an engine failure last week. Putting Rex Riley well behind the 8 ball here. But it is a longer race, 240 laps, 300 miles. As Riley tries to go and get around the 75 of Luisa Floros, it does not happen that time around. Fastest lap belongs to that of Isabel Espinosa, a 26.305 for the Argentine. Gotten past the honeymoon phase on these opening sets of tires. Means it's time to get down to serious business if you're trying to make some track position happen, like Asada Quito is trying to do right now. Whoa, moving further back. That is trouble for Maria Chavez. And everyone's scrambling to try to get around the 29. Megalos in trouble, but everyone saves it. Something happened to the 29 of Chavez, and it scrambled the entire back half of the field. Massive gap now, as Zappa has to try to hold on ahead of the 27 of Ochoa. And it's a very slow crawl, 40 miles an hour to down pit lane for Chavez. Already a lap down. See service being done like normal, getting sets of tires changed. We are getting reports that it might have been a flat tire, a tire failure of some sort for Chavez. Down the back straightaway. Chavez a lap down. Not impossible. We've seen crazy things happen here at Gateway. But that is a really bad hole to be in if you are Maria Chavez. An early puncture, 20 laps in out of 240, really throws your strategy game off kilter completely. Keisha Fox, Isabel Espinoza lead the way. Keto in third, Felicia Zappa in fourth, then Katrina Ochoa sits in the top 5 as things sit. There's Karina Sakurauchi in 6th, Cuevanami picking up a spot there as well, 7th place now ahead of Valerie Fang. Bianca Lucero up a spot now, same with Natalia Kurachenko, who now gatekeeps the top 10. Amazing crowd here once again in Gateway. This track has seen a lot of interesting moments in Champ Car history. The battle between Ronald Walker and Matthias Michelin a few years ago rings a bell still very loudly. Ronald Walker's only win in Champ Car competition came right here in St. Louis. So who else is going to get lucky? Right now, Keisha Fox leads the way. 8 laps led by Espinoza, 13 led by Keisha Fox. The shuffling position here, that's Venäläinen now behind. Now Takarasi is trying to crawl forward. Whoa, trouble, a lot of smoke, a lot of skid marks. That's going to be a caution for sure. What has happened here? That is Yui Ishii coming down pit lane. Maria Chavez, whoa, Jake Carter in trouble. So huge issues here as the leaders also come down pit lane. And that is Luisa Flores in a lot of trouble here. Oh, what happened here? This is coming right to the start-finish line. 3 wide. It's the Crystal Cove teammates and Luisa Flores right there together. See if we can back it up just a little bit more. Flores shoots the gap there. Seems like that is Carter just kind of overshooting the gap a little bit there in 3. Rail up the racetrack. That's Mia Vitsut in the 35. And Flores shoots the gap. A little bit of contact there. A little bit more contact. Bad contact there with Flores. Oh, several cars involved there. That's Ishii. It's one of the Fortune Racing cars there. I believe that was Rex Riley. It was. Unfortunately for Flores, that is about day done. Jake Carter officially out of this race. We're waiting to see more information here. First caution of the night. Luisa Flores expected to also be out of this race as well. It's Rex Riley still on the racetrack at the moment as things sit. See sort of where everyone's sitting at the moment. Maria Chavez will lead the field to green here, but it's not through intention. A lap down at the moment. Luisa Flores is out of this race, as is Jake Carter. Ishii a lap down, as is Maria Chavez. But Maria Chavez almost 2 laps down. So Maria Chavez in front of the field now, 30th place. We've had 3 retirements technically. The non-starter of Isabel Lantra, Jake Carter, and Luisa Flores out of this race. 3 cars a lap down now with Aspasia Megalos also a lap down at the very tail end of the field. along with Maria Chavez and Yuya Ishii. It gives us 27 cars on the lead lap. From Keisha Fox, who is sitting right there behind Chavez, all the way down the Rex Rally. Field is reset, so let's get back to business here for the FedEx 300 from Gateway. Green flag back in the air, and away we go. Everyone trying to break through here. Here comes Katrina Ochoa. Trying to find some inroads to get into that top three. No roads there. Lucero trying to find a way around Ishii, who's a lap down now. Part of that lap 24 accident. Everyone checked up there, and that is the reason why. Caution's back out, and I believe it's for me in Beat Suit, that's why. This is the checkup here. This is everyone's, this is all everyone behind Megalos. And Megalos gets turned into the other Fortune Racing car. That's Vitsuit getting spun around, tagging the inside wall. That was Pulstrix that got turned. And Pulstrix, I believe, got turned. Yeah, but Takarasi and Megalos there. And really the only one that really bit the dust there in a bad way was Vitsuit, who tagged the wall. So second caution of the race. It's a little bit more chaotic. However, this does put Chavez back with the rest of the group. Oh, and there's a penalty here. Keisha Fox, a penalty. Entering a closed pit lane. That is an EOL, I do believe. So Chavez tops off of fuel, and that's about it for the 29 crew. But a top off of fuel and an early pit stop there for the 62 has earned the 62 a penalty. I'm getting clarification that this is passing the pace car entering pit lane. So this is going to be a come down pit lane under green flag conditions for Keisha Fox. So a bad error there for the 62. Spacia Megalos officially out of this race. Leaves us down to 29 runners. Ishii and Chavez one lap down, and now they're together. Vitsuit and Pulsatrix, the last two on lead lap. 27 cars on lead lap still. So no change there. Megalos involved in both the cautions so far today. And that was enough for them to pull the 66 car in. So both the 66 and the 75, who qualified poorly for this race, are out in the early goings. The back part of this field, absolute mayhem. As we start lap 32. Indeed, Keisha Fox does have a black flag that needs to be served under green. If this is just a simple entering a closed pit lane, they would have just moved the 62 to the end of the longest line, would have moved Fox behind Chavez. But this is a way more severe penalty. So Fox will have to come in under green and serve that penalty. That does give the race lead to Asada Quito. Asada Quito, Katrina Ochoa, Bianca Lucero. Your top three as we get ready to get back underway. But it's Valerie Fang and Natalia Kurachenko, your top five. Green flag flies once again. Let's go racing once again to start lap 33. Ishii being shoved to the outside there by Lucero, just further behind. Can Ochoa close in and take the race lead away? Lucero elbows out in this challenger field for the first time and looking right at home. Third place. Got around the lap car of Ishii and stayed ahead of Valerie Fang. And closing right in on those race leaders, doing an outstanding job. Toyota, Ford, Chevrolet, 1, 2, and 3 at the moment. Here comes Natalia Kurachenko with a really good shot forward. And then there's 61 of Koivanemi. So Kurachenko gets through. Koivanemi trying to do the same, as is Jace Clark. And Valerie Fang is pinned. Now Fang has a chance to move out of the way. Slotting in front of, I believe that was Yumina Mizuno, the 23. And it is. Jace Clark trying to find a way around, now the points leader. What a good day if you're Rachel Koivanemi at the moment. Aspasia Megalos is out. Isabel Lantra did not start. Maria Chavez pinned a lap down. And I believe Keisha Fox is serving that black flag now. No, she's been disqualified. Keisha Fox disqualified for not serving the penalty. So they are parking the 62. She is done for the day. I have a feeling she tried to appeal the penalty, and that appeal was denied. Yeah, 3 laps to serve a penalty under green. We're now 5 laps in from the restart. So Fox joins Megalos, Carter, and Floros out of this race. As Jace Clark still battling with Koivanemi. This is for the 5th spot. Koivanemi really duking it out here with the 9. Really good fight going on. It's Kurachenko just up the road as well. And Clark's going to try to pick off 2 in 1 go. Assist with Mizuno behind. What a good pinch off there of the lane by Kurachenko. We're watching this fight for the 4th spot. Really, it's the 4th spot now, but 4th, 5th, and 6th. And change that we didn't see Lucero past Ochoa for a 2nd spot. So Lucero trying to make a statement early on. Because as you can see, Jace Clark really battling it out, trying to make some headway. Trying to get that 4th position from Kurachenko to really be able to join this podium battle that's just up ahead. Mizuno in this conversation. Karina Amara is in the conversation now. Valerie Fang a little further behind. Obviously, Koibanami in the mix too. Jace Clark gets clear. A huge assist from Mizuno. As here goes Bianca Lucero around the 22 of Asada Quito. The two-time Atlantic Series champion. After about a season and a half in the World Series, in the Challenger Series for the first time, and now assuming the race lead. Bianca Lucero out in front for Obsidian Racing Team. This is what they were wanting. Put both your cars in the same basket and let them eat. By the way, it's not just the 88 of Lucero, the 87 of Venäläinen from the back of the field to the front, up to 11th place right now for the Finnish driver. So Venäläinen also has the pace. And Quito's been left for dead. Lucero, who was qualified this race 10th, was 4th fastest in practice. Remember, Lucero is one of the few drivers that has had experience here at Gateway. Along with Quito, along with Isabel Espinoza, with Katrina Ochoa, with Jace Clark. Experience is paying dividends at the moment. Here comes Ochoa. Ochoa to second, Quito to third, Clark in fourth, Mizuno fifth. Kurachenko sits sixth ahead of Koibanami in seventh. Then it's Amara at top 8, Valerie Fang ninth, Venäläinen now up to 10th, trying to hold off and fend off from the 52 of Arashi Seto. Team Sakura, after looking abysmal in Nazareth a week ago, looking outstanding here. And they'll push Venäläinen out of the top 10, down to 12th, because that's the 09 of Sora Hoshino as well. Everyone getting their elbows out here in the shadow of the Gateway Arch. That's Arashi Seto now in the 10th spot. And look at that, there's the 30 of Katerina Milenkovic, also now shuffled to the outside, at 2 by Kira Moore. Sonia Walker in 15th, Roberta Crown Jr. 16th, 17th, Isabel Espinoza. Your pole sitter down the order. See where some of the cars that have been involved in incidents early in this race have kind of been collected here. Ishii obviously a lap down. Same with Maria Chavez. She's about to make a pass for position here. That's just will be for 27 when this pass makes sense. Ishii wounded. Both the Fortune Racing cars, lesser so. Same with the 35 of Miyavizu. And out in front, Bianca Lucero has let it rip. Ochoa and Jace Clark have both gotten around Asada Quito. So that's second and third. Asada Quito right now, trying to defend from Yumina Mizuno. 4th and 5th right now. And Lucero's looking pretty good. Teammates battling for the 10th spot here, because that is Sora Hoshino getting around Arashi Seto. Then you have the 87 of Rika Venäläinen in 12th. So good running so far. 2 cautions in this race. We have 4 retirements overall, 5 retirements overall, I guess. You have a non-starter and 4 DNFs. 26 cars on the lead lap. Amara battling with Koibanami. This is for 7th, and Amara's got it. So Koibanami drops a spot to 8th. Again, Not a lot to panic about so far. Carter's out. Negalos is out. Chavez a lap down and stuck in 27th at the moment. Not a bad gig so far. Isabel Espinosa sitting in 17th at the moment. Merlinkovic is in 15th. Felicia Zappa right now sitting in the 20th spot. Mizuno top 5, but under threat, under pressure from the 40 of Kurachenko. Kurachenko peeks to the inside. Try to drive up underneath the 23. Really tried to drive up underneath the 23 through turn 2. Didn't work out though. Mizuno holding firm. But Kurachenko once again, a force to be reckoned with in the top 10. Here comes Karina Amara as well in 7th place, trying to find a way to get to 6th. Oh, really hard drive out of the corner, and Koivuniemen did the exact same thing. Followed the number 4 car up the hill, but Koivuniemen did enough to correct it and avoid being passed by Valerie Fang. Koivuniemen tried to make a pass on the outside there at 1 and 2 on the 4 of Amara. Didn't work. Outside lane in 1 and 2s, not a great place to be. But props to Koivuniemen for trying. Believe me, she had the car to do it. Confidence speaks volumes. But I think that's just sort of where they're at with Kurachenko at the moment. Not really able to go anywhere. See this log jam of cars here as well. Look at the 36 of Sonia Walker, as we're going to stay actually with Koivuniemen, who now gets to the inside of the 4 and forces Amara up the hill, the Greek driver, who will hold on. And wow, Koivuniemen had to really check out of that to avoid running into the 4. Lose all that momentum. And Sonia Walker has now separated 2 of those Team Sakura cars, sliding in behind Arashi Seto and ahead of Hoshino. Now in the 11th spot, Rikov in alignment, beginning to drop back down to 14th behind Kira Moore. Hoshino trying to find a way around Sonia Walker again as they battle for over that 11th spot, just outside the top 10. Meanwhile, you want to see what being gone looks like. That's Lucero right now out of turn number 4. And there's Katrina Ochoa. Ochoa trying to hold up everyone here, trying to stay in second place. The 3-second gap between Lucero and Ochoa as we come around a finish lap 65 of 240. Clark really being harassed right now by the 22 of Asada Quito. Mizuno right there in the group as well. See this battle a little bit further back here. That is Roberto Crown Jr. going after this 87 of Rica Venelainen. Venelainen on the outside trying to prevail. Staying ahead of that 10 car and does so. Wow, really good job by Venelainen. Espinosa stuck at 16th still. Felice Zappa in 18th. You can tell the frustrations there. So Lucero continues to just lead the way. Doing an outstanding job. That time, no, Ochoa was faster. Faster by a couple tenths. It's a big deal. 27.2 versus 27.0. So I think Lucero is just going to push the tires a lot, trying to open up this giant gap, and then just kind of ride it out until your green flag pit stop window at this point. Which is an interesting strategy, but for Lucero, I guess, just enjoying being in the lead would be a huge ordeal. Match lap times there between the first and second place cars. As you see Mizuno getting around the 22 of Asada Quito. That's fourth. Sonia Walker also crawling forward in that 36 car, having worked a way around the 54 Valerie Fang. Now attacking the points leader. Walker got around Fang there. So now it's Koivu, target acquired. Sonia Walker looking pretty stout at the moment. A little bit fresher tires too than most of the field. And gonna try to be a little bit rough and tumble with the points leader. And find a way around for that 8th spot. Peaks, no dice. Now down into turn number 1 and 2. Kira Moore finding a way around Arashi Seto. That is for 12th if it can stick. Outside lane prevailing a little bit more as the run goes along here on the outside of turns 3 and 4. Espinosa up one more spot, having gotten around Roberto Crown Jr. Felicia Zappa under attack from Milinkovic. Nothing going there either. Here goes Sonia Walker around the 61 and clears into 3. Koivu unable to respond, and now next up on that target list is Natalia Kurachenko. Sonia Walker looking a lot more at home right here in Gateway. But here comes the 61 of Koivu right on cue to fire back. Outside lane though, so much more prevalent now as these tires get some age on them. What lane do you want to be in? Upper lane, lower lane. Koivu works the lower lane again. And Kurachenko giving just enough slipstream into turn 3 to make this battle viable side by side. And that's what Kurachenko wants to see, is that side by side. Still side by side here. This is a lot of battling going on right now. Likewise, it is a little bit further forward as well. It's Quito and Amara also battling it out. And they're staying side by side as things run. Leave. Walker's going to end up the benefactor of that. However, this fight's still going on, with no clear victor at the moment. Quito's got the advantage, but not quite the same situation. In the 3 and 4. Quito's holding onto it here, it looks like. But fought tooth and nail did Amara and Koivanemi. Really good fights from both of those clusters. So Quito holds on to the 6th position. Sorry, hold on to 5th. Ahead of Amara, whereas Walker holds on to 8th ahead of Koivanemi, who slots down to 9th. Oh, we got a battle forward to the forward. This is Clark and Ochoa. And Ochoa's going to defend well in the 3 to make that a non-issue at the moment. Battling's allowing the Chero to open up a bit more of a gap. Now it was sitting stationary about 2.8 seconds, now about 3.2. The fighting for 2nd place is opened back up again. And that's really the main way looking at her mirror right now. Lap 85 of 240. They are over a third of the way through this race so far. Carson, Blake, Ochoa, Clark, and Mizuno, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Karina Amara, top 5 around Asada Quito. Then Sonia Walker up to 7th. Freshest tires of the field belong to Sonia Walker, as well as to Isabel Espinosa, Roberto Crown Jr., Felicia Zappa. They have Seth Smith Jr., Karina Sakurauchi, Nara Takarasi, and Dale Blanco, and some of those further down the order. But as far as those at the front of the field, Sonia Walker, center of your screen, top of the bunch, and it's beginning to show here. close in right now on Asada Quito for that 6th spot. Amy in 9th, trying to hold on to that ahead of Sora Hoshino, who's going to drive to the underneath in 1 and 2. Whoa, trouble. That's Mizuno with trouble, trying to get to pit lane, and does. But that was almost pandemonium. 2023 crew, who now have to service Mizuno's car. And in a hurry. So trouble for the 23. Bianca Lachero, meanwhile, about to approach the 44 of Ishii to put Ishii a 2nd lap down. Mizuno in trouble. Going to service. It'd be alarming if there was another tire issue here at Gateway. So that gives a little bit more reprieve. It also moves Valerie Fang into the top 10. Ahead of Kira Moore. Here goes Sonia Walker, down to the inside of Asada Quito here. And Sonia Walker, freshest tires of those in the front of the field. Now having to use that advantage heavily to get forward. And through 3 and 4, she'll get clear of Quito and move up now into the top 5. So Sonia Walker looking pretty good right now. Very interesting to see how this plays out. Sonia Walker is going faster right now than the race leader, but the race leader also dealing with traffic. Because that is obviously Lucero getting around Ishii, but also Mizuno trying to stay just 1 lap down. Sorry, no, Mizuno went 3 laps down. My apologies. Mizuno in a world of hurt right now. So Chero holds on to the race lead. More cars coming out of pit lane now. That is Rika Venalainen coming out of pit lane. And I would hazard a guess the pit window is not far away from being completely open for everybody. That's a couple cars back to back. Sonia Walker closing in. Lap times have fallen a lot here from the 26.5s we were expecting, or we were at the beginning of the race, down to 27.6s. So we've lost a little over a second. More cars in pit lane. I do believe I did see cars further back in the order. I did. Arashi Seto. Let's see who's there. There's Arashi Seto. And that is Seto leading pit lane. Did not qualify well. Side-by-side battle once again as Ochoa stays in 2nd place, but the gap is now 4.6 seconds. You can tell once Lucero broke free, it was off to the races for the 88 crew, whereas this group is still extremely tight together. It seems like Ochoa's not the strongest link of this crew. Sonia Walker very well could be at this point. Other cars have fallen off a little bit sharper, like Quito. Ochoa playing the track management game at this point. Coming to finish lap 100 here in Gateway Motorsports Park. Once again, Clark looks to the inside. Whoa, a little bit of contact. That's Amara that slid alongside the 9 of Chase Clark. So Amara tried to do something interesting, and it didn't work out. Now pass in the outside lane with Clark checking up. Unfortunately, both of them going for the same piece of real estate. It did not work out. Sora Hoshino now down pit lane as well. So that is 2 of the 3. With actually all 3 of them, Mizuno, Mizuno, Seto, and Hoshino all down pit lane. All 3 of those Team Sakura cars have come down pit lane. Clark did get around Ochoa that time. So they've lost another half second on Lucero. The battling rages on and on and on. Now it is Amara on the heels of Ochoa. Sonia Walker in the 5th position, looking for an opportunity to get around as well. Then it's a huge gap all the way down to Kurachenko. Koivanemi, a little bit of contact there by Roberto Crown Jr. on to the championship leader. You want to talk about hitting the panic button there, and that's exactly what that was. Everyone getting a little bit more elbows out and punching. The car down pit lane. Who was that down pit lane? Was that? That looked like Mizuno again. It is Mizuno again. So trouble for the 23, who is down pit lane. There's Sam Smith Jr. down pit lane as well for his stop. And I would hazard to guess the pit lane is actually, I think, open for some of these lead lap cars. It is. I believe Ochoa is down pit lane now. Yep, there's Ochoa right there. Crown is in, Zappa's in, Del Blanco's in. Lucero stays out. More cars come in. That is Ishii, who just tagged the wall. And that's going to be a race over for Ishii, entering the pit lane a little bit too hot, tags the wall, and I think that's day done for the 44 crew. And indeed it is. Koivanemi down pit lane as well. We can throw a box pretty safe and sound here. Out a little bit longer is Lucero, who had a giant gap to play with in the process. So it makes sense. Stay out, let the pit lane sort of clear itself out here, and then make your pit stop as more cars make their stops. With around 130 laps to go. Another car out. Oh, this one's actually significant. Katrina Ochoa out of this race. Katrina Ochoa out of this race. Brake failure for Ochoa. A huge problem for the 27. The brakes falling apart there on the 27 car. You have to use the brakes a lot in turns 1 and 2. Not straightforward, just letting off the gas. Getting on the brakes there, using those brakes. They had fallen apart for the 27 crew. Ochoa out from battling for second place in this race. So attrition beginning to kick in as well, on top of the accidents we've seen so far in this race. We're going to be down to 26 runners here out of 33 that qualified yesterday. One did not start. That is Isabel Lantra. Ochoa, Ishii, Fox, Megalos, Carter, and Floros in the retirement queue. And here comes the race leader, Bianca Lucero. Two-time Atlantic Series champion. Looking for her first Champ Car race win. Sora Hoshino, a bunch of other cars, and get a lap back here. Car coming down pit lane, that is Mizuno. Another issue for Mizuno coming down pit lane, already smoke billowing from that 23 car. And this will be another retirement. So huge concerns now in this field. There's Karina Amara. Obviously, as you kind of browse and peruse through, this is Sora Hoshino, who should be inheriting the lead of this race. And Mizuno out with an engine failure. Oh no, that is not what you want to see from Mizuno. That is a 10-place grid drop heading into the next race, which is in Mexico City. It's a really bad place to be in. So at least Hoshino, Seto, Clark, and Sonia Walker ahead of Lucero at the moment. There's where Lucero is cycled out here. Seth Smith Jr. is actually going to be ahead as well. So Seth Smith Jr. in the 5th position, Lucero in 6th. Sonia Walker finding a way around Rika Venäläinen. Here's Clark in 3rd. Hirashi Seto in 2nd, Sora Hoshino in 1st. Remember, they're off sequence. But for a moment, it is Team Sakura leading the way. And Sonia Walker's right now ahead of Bianca Lucero. So now we get to see Walker and Lucero go head-to-head. As that was Seth Smith Jr. getting around Venäläinen, and so will the 88. So teammate swap positions there. And I think Venäläinen was smart enough just to know not to make any complications of that. Because this is where things get really interesting. Now that you have Lucero, who led so many laps here, led 71 laps of the first 120. Now behind Seth Smith Jr., who came down pit lane a little bit earlier, not a lot, but came down a little bit earlier, was one of the first main pit window drivers to come down. So he did trigger that pit stop window with that pit stop, but wasn't the first, wasn't super early on that. Lucero, one of the last ones to come down. And obviously you have the 3 cars here, well, just the 2 cars, Hoshino and Seto, who are really off sequence at this point, coming to complete the halfway lap. So this makes things very interesting. How quickly can Lucero now work through traffic? Remember, traffic, for the most part, kind of sorted itself out for the 88 crew. Lucero started 10th. hadn't really lost any headway there. Cars began to pit under those first 2 cautions of the race. It kind of gave Lucero the easy way forward. Passed a couple cars and open a gap. Now it's a little bit harder. Everyone's a little bit more spread out. A lot more intimate, the battles for position that you're seeing right now. Seth Smith Jr. likewise trying to hold on to that top 5. Lucero, not great. Whoa! Car stuck in the middle of the road, and that's going to be a caution. That was Maria Chavez. Chavez coming to a stop in the middle of the road. No contact damage for that. It is an electrical issue for Chavez, we're hearing. An electrical issue for Maria Chavez, bringing that car to a sudden stop in the middle of the road. And it resets the field. Chavez was a lap down early. See some cars coming down pit lane early here. Most of the field coming down pit lane right now. Very interesting. Seto, one of those cars coming down pit lane, as was the 09 Sora Hoshino. See Hoshino. There's Hoshino in box there. There's Sonia Walker. Seth Smith Jr. is coming in. Most of the field will come in here. But trouble early on for Maria Chavez has now been compounded by some sort of electrical issue that has left that car stranded on the road. There's already been a race full of attrition. And Hoshino, a black flag. A black flag for Hoshino. Once again, passing the pace car. Entering pit lane. Similar penalty that was received by Keisha Fox. Keisha Fox did not serve that penalty. And ended up being black flagged. Berto Crown Jr. out of this race as well. Waiting to see what we have for a reason there for Berto Crown Jr., but no damage reported there on the 10 car. And this is interesting because now Lucero is the one still out here. A lot of shuffling going on. Lucero leads the way over Asada Kito, Nara Takarashi, and Valerie Fang. Karina Sakurachi trying to stay on the lead lap here at this point. Also seeing a black flag, a penalty flag for Rex Riley. Is a lap down. Not sure what for. Rex Riley did not come down pit lane that first go around, having been a lap down. Pits are open on the first lap for just lead lap cars. Lap cars get the second lap under caution to make their pit stops. The idea is to try to get the lap cars to get out of the way without putting them in the same pit window as the lead lap cars. So 2 penalties, one for Rex Riley, one for Sora Hoshino. And it will be Bianca Lucero that will be the leader of this race behind Karina Sakurachi. So Lucero will restart this race in a Verizon Team Impulse sandwich, which I'm sure that Lucero is very pleased about. Lucero, Kito, Takarashi, Fang, Amara, your top 5 on this third restart of the race here in St. Louis. Pace car in, green flag flies, away we go. And Lucero with the skipper's restart. Not really a question of if, but how long it would take to get around the 12. But Asada Quito also looking equally game, as is Naritaka Rossi looking for back-to-back podiums. It is Obsidian, Team Impulse, and Frostfire. Top three right now. Mara trying to find a way around as well. And there's Kira Moore. And Isabel Espinosa. Isabel Espinosa back in the mix. After leading 8 laps at the start of this race. The pole sitter. Over-unders on Kira Moore. And really drives deep through 1 and 2 to make it happen. Moore respects it. Slots in behind to get around the lap car of Sakurauchi. Sakurauchi, the first car a lap down at this point. .110 laps to go when we get to the start-finish line. And I do believe that Hoshino and company have been fulfilled. There you go. Rex Rally serving penalty now. Whoa! Huge trouble for Riley. And Hoshino struggling as well. That was just a silly, clumsy error for Rex Riley, trying to serve a penalty as fast as possible and clobbers the pit wall. And now we're seeing the black and white flag, the black flag with a white stripe for Hoshino. Hoshino has been disqualified. For also failing to properly serve the penalty. Here comes Valerie Fang, looking for the race lead on Lucero. So Valerie Fang says it's game on. Hoshino coming down pit lane now, after being told to park. Valerie Fang really trying to race forward here. That's Quito in third, Takarasi in fourth. Valerie Fang saying it is all fair at this point, but Lucero holding station at the front. Remember, Lucero stayed out. A couple of these cars stayed out. Most of the field came in. So Lucero at a disadvantage. Here goes Fang driving through turn 4. Strong drive through turn 4 there for Fang. It was just trying to mark her way forward. Just struggling a little bit too much in 1 and 2, and that's where you need to make it happen. Especially at this point. Here comes Takarasi. 2012 Indy 500 champion. Trying to find a way around Quito and Amara. Meanwhile, Clark working his way around the 26 of Isabel Espinosa. Still a lot of fighting going on here. Valerie Fang slotting in the second firmly at this point. And here comes Chase Clark, looking really strong right now. on his pursuit to go forward. Valerie Fang's hanging right there with Lucero. We hadn't seen many people hang with Lucero early in this race. Lucero leads, but it's an honest fight right now for Lucero between the San Marinese driver and the Hong Konger in Valerie Fang. Around Sada Quito goes Karina Amara. Amara now in the podium places. Race winner from Charlotte, up to third. Top two have not won a race in the Challenger Series and not won a Champ Car race, period, in the World Series or the Challenger Series. Neither has Asada Quito or Seth Smith Jr. just behind in fifth. And here goes Quito, looks to the inside. Gonna give it a shot to get back around the four of Amara, and does. So Quito's around Amara. Seth Smith Jr. sitting in fifth, looking, tries to put his nose in through 3 and 4, and does so. Out of turn 4, side by side. Is the 4 and the 5, trying to swap positions here. Chase Clark also trying to follow suit here. And unfortunately for Chase Clark, can't make it stick. Get a little too tight there out of turn 2. But fighting in earnest. It's been a wild race so far. We're down to 22 runners in this race. Maria Chavez back out on track, 3 laps down though. After having that electrical issue, they have resolved it. It was a battery issue. So quick recovery there for Maria Chavez. $19 cars on the lead lap at the moment. And Valerie Fang in quick motion gets around the 88. New race leader, Valerie Fang. So now it's on Lucero to respond. These 3 raced against each other last year. At least for a few races last year. Valerie Fang was racing for Cat Devil Racing at the time before getting booted from that ride after an altercation with Kenny Kinoshita. Bianca Lucero filling in for the injured Isabel Espinoza in that car. After Espinoza was injured in the crash at Twin Ring Motegi. They all converge again. Espinoza also in this group. And Valerie Fang now with control of the lead. 96 laps to go. What a chaotic race it's been. Here goes Asada Quito. Lucero being swarmed. Quito looking for the race lead, as is Chase Clark. Trying to find a way around Bianca Lucero first, and here goes Sonia Walker too. That Pepsi number 36. Tight-knit group here. Really top 8, top 9 all in this group. That's Koibanami in 9th that's in this group too. Just off the back end. Arashi Seto, the 52, who was saved by that last caution, but everyone back on the same pit sequence for the most part. And Arashi Seto bowing Sonia Walker here. Rich Koibanami in this mix, getting around Seth Smith Jr. and the 9 of Chase Clark. lot of tight fighting going on right now. Here goes Seto. Here goes Koivanemi. Running large on the inside lane. As Asada Kito in the same frame takes the race lead away from Valerie Fang. But keep an eye out for Arashi Seto and Rachel Koivanemi charging forward. A lot of drivers in this top 10 that do not have a race win still in 2024. Walker, Lucero, Seto, Fang, Kito, Smith, Clark. And look at that move to the outside of a Koivanemi. Seto will cover it off, but it was a really good look for the 61, knowing where the 52 is weakest. And that is now Koivanemi up into the top 4. Lap car up ahead, that is Rika Venäläinen, race winner for Phoenix. And has not had a great time here in St. Louis. There's your race leader, Asada Kito, who's going to try to make quick work of the Finnish driver. And here goes Seto. Pinching Valerie Fang behind Venäläinen. That's not what Valerie Fang wanted, but that's exactly what Arashi Seto was hoping for. And now there's no barrier between Seto and Asada Kito. Here goes Koivanemi, though, to the inside. The points leader looking for a way around, wants to get to the front of the field, side by side for the lead. Seto to the outside into 3. It's looking good. But Seto's car pretty weak in turn 3 and 4 compared to 1 and 2. The drive out of the corner, though, enough. A pass on the outside will be enough to take the race lead. Arashi Seto for Team Sakura. Now out front. Coming to 85 laps to go. Koivanemi trying to find a way around Kito as well. And there's Jace Clark, not far behind either. Bianca Lucero sitting in 5th, ahead of Seth Smith Jr., Sonia Walker in 7th. But under pressure from Felicia Zappa, the Italian, in 8th. Amara in 9th. 10th. It's not Maria Chavez. Maria Chavez 3 laps down in 21st. 10th is Nara Takarasi. And that's where you find Takarasi, Espinoza, Kurachenko, and more. Here goes Espinoza driving through turn 2 to get underneath Takarasi and get the drive out. And you see exactly where Valerie Fang fell to. This is in the same range as Mia Vitsu, Amity Polsatrix, and Maria D'Amata. You have Dale Blanco behind Katarina Milinkovic. Rika Venäläinen in 22nd. Still the last car running at this point. Sakurashi in 20th. Last car. Sorry, first car, only car 1 lap down. Arashi Seto leads this race. Jace Clark up to 2nd. Gonna try to reel in that 52 car. Top 3 have all yet to win a race this season. Clark's got a race win 2020 in Brno. Kito's been winless in Champ Car since he came over from the GP1 championship. Arashi Seto, first full year in Champ Car racing. Looking for a win as a rookie. And here we go, Seth Smith Jr. being very punchy. Both the Swift Autosport cars in this group. Smith in the 5, Zappa in the 50. They're all being bottlenecked behind the 22 of Quito. The Verizon Team Impulse. But Amy held on, ultimately, to stay ahead of Seth Smith Jr., but trying to find a way around the 22 of Quito. Whoa! Hard driving there by Smith, and Chloe Van Amy didn't appreciate it, but drives off and leaves Seth Smith Jr. in her dust. And now Seth Smith Jr. has to do the same thing. Trying to drive his way through Asada Quito here. Churro falling back just a little bit in that 7th spot now. Remember, she's got older tires than most of the field here, so she'll make that last pit stop a little bit sooner. Seth Smith Jr. gets around Quito. That is for the 4th spot. And now it's Sonia Walker's turn. Finishes after making a move there on the 88 of Lucero. Lucero, just being in this position to battle has got to be so enjoyable for Lucero after spending so much time kind of just idling along in the World Series. I see two-time Atlantic Series champion. Tipped as a blue chip prospect in American Open Wheel Racing. Apex Racing Team shut its doors. Really left Lucero with very little room to maneuver. Before getting that call last year to fill in for Isabel Espinoza. She's got to be living it up right now. Battling in 7th place, disadvantage in hand, having not put under that last caution. But it is a wonderful feeling just being able to fight and go toe-to-toe. There goes Felicia Zappa looking to the inside in 3 and 4 once again. Arashi Seto leads the way by 1.3 seconds over Chase Clark. This is the battle that we're looking at with Asada Quito. This is for 5th overall. It just looks a little bit wonky because of how many cars are in this battle. Trevor getting past there by the 40 of Kurachenko. We're going to try to do the exact same thing. Just not enough grip there in those tires. Those tires are beginning to fade a little bit more as this race goes along. Laps led for Lucero. Really good number. Not bad for your first time in the Challenger Series. Lucero is very bullish on the move to the Challenger Series. Really good quote that came out of her press conference going into this weekend. It's time to go and try to win races. Her mindset's in the right place. Really tight battling here. Just ahead of Lucero, and including Lucero, this is Quito, Felicia Zappa, Sonia Walker, Natalia Kurachenko. Lucero's in this group, as is Karina Amara and Amity Bolsatrix. Bolsatrix looking for a top 10, sitting 11th right now. Here's the battle on the podium steps right now. Clark in second, Koivanami third, Seth Smith Jr. top 4. But they are not catching up to the 52 of Arashi Seto. Coming to 65 laps to go. They would like to be catching up to Seto and really have a fight for this race. Sometimes you're getting to really slow down once again. I have to hazard a guess that Seth Smith Jr. might be the fastest car of the 3 that are in this group. And indeed, he's going to make a move to get around the 61 of Koivanami here. Trying to go while the iron's hot, I guess, and see what you can do now that you know the time's kind of ticking down. No point in wasting daylight. Asking yourself, what if? The more that they're battling, the less likely it is to work. Koivanami not so keen to let it slide. Seth Smith Jr., I don't think we're worried about that. Really good drive there. Had to actually check up and avoid hitting the 9 of Clark. Again, Koivanami just really doesn't have an answer there on the outside lane in 1 and 2, and will have to eventually relinquish that 3rd spot to Seth Smith Jr. And to look at, just right on cue, is the 87 of Riikka Venäläinen. And trouble, that is the 12 of Sakurauchi, who I think missed the access road to enter pit lane. Sakurauchi already a lap down, make that 2 laps down now, I do believe. But not in danger of losing a position. Maria Chavez is 3 laps down. Venäläinen 5 laps down, and pit lane, I think, is opening for some of these cars that maybe need that pit stop a little bit more than others. Venäläinen held up Seto a lot, dropped the gap all the way down to less than 2 seconds. And Venäläinen, an unfortunate pick. As they'll try to get around the car of Asada Kita, who's exiting pit lane. So some cars coming down pit lane there. Quito, one of them. Zamata also coming in. So several cars making pit stops at this stage, with coming to about 55 laps to go here soon. 58 laps to go, coming 57 to go. And Arashi Seto beginning to open the gap up once again over Clark. And again, I have to assume that Seth Smith Jr. probably the best of the three in this group at the moment. Trying to get clear of the 61. Unfortunately, not able to do so there. Smith really trying to make some inroads here. He wants to try to pursue that first race win that he wants so bad. Could have been aiming just a little bit too strong, though, at this particular point, at this conjecture. Give it another go. And whoa, trouble! That's Clark! Clark in huge trouble! And he gets turned! Oh, in huge trouble! Clark spun around into the path of Koivu. Caution comes out. Obviously, pace car going to pick up the race leader here, which is Arashi Seto. And Arashi Seto just passed the pace car. Seto just passed the pace car. Oh no. Seto did not pay attention to the pace car, did what her teammate just did on that last run. What Keisha Fox did not pay attention to where the pace car was at. Oh no. Obviously trouble for the 61 of Koivu, who's got damage after having Chase Clark spun in front of her car. But Arashi Seto just threw away a phenomenal opportunity at a race win. That is a penalty. It's got to be a slam dunk penalty. Chase Clark out of this race due to the crash. I guess we'll wait and see what sort of issue had led up to that crash. We saw smoke beginning to billow from the 9 car before that crash, obviously before he got turned by Seth Smith Jr. there. Oh my goodness. And for Arashi Seto, this is nightmare fuel. A slam dunk penalty on the 52. As unfortunate as it gets. Koivu car not going to feel quite the same, but if there's a time to have a bad race, today's the day with how things are looking right now. Obviously, Megalos out, Carter out, Maria Chavez 3 laps down. Isabel Lantra didn't get to start the race. Looking pretty good if you're Rachel Koivu at the moment. You're worried about Zappa and Takarasi at this point. Zappa's in 6th, Espinosa's in 14th. And yeah, Arashi Seto's got a black flag for passing the pace car entering pit lane. Oh my goodness. What a nightmare scenario. In the meantime, This puts a lot of pressure on Natalia Kurachenko, who is now the race leader. This was mid-pit stop sequence when this happened. So it's Kurachenko, Blanco, Seto's third, but has a penalty to serve. Seth Smith Jr. in fourth, Sonia Walker in fifth. Then it's Felicia Zappa, Amity Polsidrix, Katerina Milenkovic, Rachel Koivu-Naimi, who is in ninth and at the very tail end of this group, and then several cars leading this train that were a lap down prior. Lucero, D'Amata, Vitsu, Moore, Espinoza, Fang, Takarasi. Amara is still 1 lap down. Asada Quito's 2 laps down. Chavez is still 3. Same as Sakurauchi, 3 laps down for the 12. And 5 laps down for Venalainen. The pace car pulls in. It's in everyone but Kurachenko's hands. But Kurachenko leads this race. Green flag flies, and it's time to go racing once again. 51 laps to go. And how involved do you get yourself into the nonsense that's about to take place here? Car being split, middle 3 wide. That's Amara that was being passed. And that's trouble. Several cars coming down pit lane. That's Kurachenko and Walker, who did not have a penalty. Sorry, Walker did have a penalty. My apologies. Walker did have a penalty. Kurachenko, I'm not sure, does. And you see Arashi Seto coming down pit lane. So I think this leaves the lead of the race with Dale Blanco, I believe. Where is Blanco at? They're saying it's Seth Smith Jr. who's got the race lead. What is going on? I don't think it's Seth Smith Jr. It's Polsidrix. Amity Polsidrix now in the race lead for Fortune Racing. I'm out to sea right now on this one. Usually I can kind of talk my way through it and sort of just think out loud. I can't do that. Arashi Seto is out of this race. It looks like there was damage there, and it looks like Seto's not the only one that had damage. But Seto, regardless, out of this race. So that is, unfortunately, I think all 3 of the Team Sakura cars out of this race after what was a very hopeful start here in Gateway. Amity Polsidrix now leads the way and is following the last of those on the lead lap. Takarasi, Amara's still a lap down, excuse me. But you're looking at Takarasi, Vitsu, Moore, Espinoza among that group. Maria D'Amata, Valerie Fang, also in that group. It's Polsidrix, Zappa, and Milenkovic, your top 3. Koivu-Naimi, through the power of ridiculous luck, in 4th. Seth Smith Jr. in 5th, as things sit. And if you're Polsidrix, you have to kind of put cars between yourself and Zappa if you want your first champ car win. Obviously, Zappa, a race winner at Kentucky. Polsitter last week in Nazareth. Polsidrix was in a really good spot to win back in Night City, taken out by a crash late on in that race. The results have been few and far between for the Fortune Racing camp. A good chance for them to right that path and grab some memento from 2024. Beginning here in Gateway, another race that's been just as chaotic as what Night City was. Bolstrix leads, coming to 42 laps to go here in Gateway. There's not a lot of pressure right now for Bolstrix, just kind of staying with this group. Zappa more under pressure from Milinkovic at this point. Then Zappa would have a chance to pressure Bolstrix at this stanza. 41 laps to go, will be 40 to go next time by. What a wild race it's been. Bolstrix coming around to take 13.9 laps to go. We've had 4 yellow flags, 4 cautions for 17 laps so far of this race. Knock on wood, we're green to the finish. But it is an absolute warhouse, a dogfight. Bolstrix putting some more cars between herself and Felicia Zappa. Make that Katarina Milinkovic, who's up to second place. Milinkovic, the winner from the Gamebridge 300 at Indianapolis. And Milinkovic has the head of steam too. But this car is in the way. Now passing easier to do here than it was last week. But you still have to make some magic happen. And Bolstrix knows it. Looks to the inside of Moore. You're putting cars a lap down here, but they're going to fight for position because it's all for position right now. Forward and backwards. Bolstrix's best bet right now is just kind of safeguard that bottom lane in 1 and 2. Not like that. Not what you want to do. Oh dear. This is going to be one of those really crazy runs to the finish. I have a really strong feeling. 35 laps to go. FedEx 300 shaping up to be a classic. Only one car just serve as an obstacle between first and second on track. Bolstrix trying to get around Veet's suit here. Trying to just add some more distance, some more obstacles. We talk about chaos, we've had it. Milinkovic beginning to move as well, trying to get around Takarasi. Couldn't do so in turn 3 and 4, so Takarasi stays ahead, and that's a huge blow for Milinkovic, who is beginning to run out of time. 32 laps to go. And again, what a fall upwards for Rachel Coivinami right now, sitting 4th. Even if she loses 4th place to Seth Smith Jr. here over the next 30 laps, a top 5 for that car is insane. And what a day to do that, too. Only person you lose points to is Zappa and Milinkovic, but you're only losing at most 5? Well, for Milinkovic, 10. But Milinkovic is further behind. You're only losing about 5 to Zappa, who wasn't really within arm's reach to begin with. I think you kind of walk out of Gateway if you hold on to this as an absolute dub. Whoa, trouble, cars in the fence. That is D'Amata and Fang. Caution's out. They're racing back to the line. That was Fang and D'Amata up in the fence. A huge crash, 5th caution of the day. The night has drawn more sparks. Pulsatrix will lead the way. The rest of the field, just ahead of her, will get back on the lead lap. Now, if you're Pulsatrix, do you come down pit lane? The answer to that question is no. You do not come down pit lane. Valerie Fang, after flipping that car up and over, still driving it back, which is absolutely insane. The car will go to its box, and whether or not that car continues, it does not continue, and that's a sensible approach for Valerie Fang. What happened here? We went back a couple laps just kind of see if we could figure out what happened between Fang and D'Amata. They're side by side here, behind Lucero, just ahead of Maria Chavez and Kiro Moore. Is this a send by Fang, or did D'Amata just close the door? Oh, D'Amata just really sent it in. Hard impact there for both of those cars. If they both get rolling, which is incredible. Obviously, Fang's race is over, as it should be at that point. And I believe D'Amata is not in a much better state. So Pulsatrix leads the way. Vincent and Dr. Rossi, the obstacles in the way, ahead of Felicia Zappa and Katerina Milinkovic. Waiting to see, sort of browsing and perusing here. That is Maria D'Amata. That is a lot of the right side damage there for D'Amata's car. And this bails out Chloe Vanemi a decent amount. Obviously, not great in the position counter. Obviously coming down pit lane to get some more of that damage repaired. So Chloe Vanemi is dropped down to the 8th spot compared to where Milinkovic and Zappa are. But everyone behind Chloe Vanemi from V-Suit on down is lapped or out of this race completely. So it's not all doom and gloom if you're the 61 camp, because you know at this point that you're pretty well set. You're 8th or better. And based on how this race has gone so far, with too many laps left to go, there's a chance for that 8th to become a lot better. Isabel Espinoza in 7th also has a chance now to fight a little bit more. Kira Moore just ahead there as well. In 6th, Bianca Lucero in the 5th position should be something that everyone keeps an eye on here. Be willing to really heavily bet that the 88 is going to have a lot of saying in how this race finishes down the wire. But it's Pulsatrix that leads, Milinkovic and Zappa. 5th caution of the race. Lights out on that Ford Raptor pace truck, which means we are about to go green once again, coming to 25 laps to go. It's all very interesting, very peculiar, very strange. What an attrition race we've had. We have 19 cars still running. We've lost about half the field. Pace car is in. Green flag will fly here. And the FedEx 300 back underway. Polstrix under control of that restart. And luckily, the lap cars behind her did not get caught out. Polstrix stays out front over Vitsu and Takarasi, who are a lap down, 9th and 10th for them. The measuring sticks between Polstrix in the 30, that's Sunoco number 30, of Katerina Milenkovic. There's Milenkovic and there's Zappa, battling for second place. Zappa knows it's showtime, so does Sonia Walker. With Sonia Walker a lap down in 11th. Can Felicia Zappa grab a race win again? Looked good in Nazareth a week ago. Gearbox failure. Ripped that one away. Has a chance again here. But it is not an easy or straightforward opportunity that she's got to try to make the most of. Milenkovic still in this fight as well, getting around Sonia Walker again. Milenkovic looking right at Felicia Zappa. This is for second place. And the more that they fight, the better it is for Polstrix at this point. Talk about absolute stunner. We're looking at it in the making. 20 laps to go here in Gateway. Felicia Zappa trying to hold on to second place here. I think the race win has begun to fall away from grasp here. 1.3 seconds the gap. I think Zappa's more about consolidating second place here. Both these drivers trying to gain on Rachel Koivu-Niemi, who's sitting firmly in 8th. Can't fall further as things sit. Look at Kurachenko not helping her teammate out at all, battling for this podium spot. Kurachenko is thinking about herself right now because she's trying to race against Sonia Walker. They see the door. Whoa, really wide open for Felicia Zappa. That was a car that was out of control in turns 1 and 2. You want to talk about not being comfy. Felicia Zappa had to have held on tight for that. You don't often get to survive being that high up the racetrack in 1 and 2 here. You just don't get opportunities like that. And Zappa held on to it. I don't know if she just overdrove it or got spooked by Kurachenko's send. Whatever it was, it ended up ultimately working because no one got around. But wow. Zappa really trying to hold on to that second place. 2.5 seconds the gap now. This is pretty well done and dusted in favor of the 71. What does the rest of the podium look like? What does the rest of the top 10 look like? Coming to 14 laps to go. It is Zappa in second, Milinkovic in third. Isabel Espinosa's made it up to fourth. And Akira Moore and Bianca Lucero. Seth Smith Jr. in seventh, Rachel Koivanami in eighth. And right now it is Mia Vitsud and Nira Takarasi, those right behind the race leader, 9th and 10th, to round out the top 10. Lisa Zappa still trying everything that she can at this point. Race is far from over if you're the 50 car. And now you've got a couple cars between yourself and Milinkovic, so this kind of works out for you. Unless Kuracheka tries to pull the team game, and that might be what happens here. Zappa once again forced the outside lane, this time not far as out to the wall as she was last time. And it works out. So the conversation once again focuses on the race leader, Amity Pulsatrix, with 11 laps to go. Clear sails, nothing in sight at this point. Everything that you're needing to know is in your mirror. It's behind you. 10 to go. This is a chance to redeem what was lost early in the season in Night City. As the lap times continue to tick away. Pulsatrix pulling away more and more from the lap cars as well. A couple of lap cars up ahead. I believe that is Asada Quito. It is the 22 of Quito up ahead. What a fall from Grace his race has been after leading 20 laps early on. All things considered, shouldn't be too much of a factor here at this point. But we've been wrong before. '89 lap sled will be the most of any driver, Bianca Lucero, in her first race in the Challenger Series. Right now she sits in a distant 6th. But all things considered, I think Lucero will take that as a good step forward. Debuting in the Challenger Series after a long, arduous time in the World Series. Stepping down and getting back into competitive ways. Amity Pulsatrix, the Canadian driver, 5 laps to go. That's what remains of the FedEx 300. Mia Vitsud staying right there on the tail of Pulsatrix because everyone knows the precarious situation Koivanami is in. Shouldn't be in danger of going a lap down, all things considered. Koivanami opposite side of the racetrack. But just in case something does go even more wrong, you want to be there for it. So Vitsud pushing a little bit more to stay in touch. It is a 2-second gap between Polstrix and Zappa. Milinkovic in third, Espinoza fourth, Moore in fifth. I mean, 2 laps to go for Amity Polstrix. Slicha Zappa is second, clear of Katerina Milinkovic. Milinkovic, though, under threat of potentially losing that podium place, and has lost that podium place. Isabel Espinoza, your race winner from Nazareth, back up to third. It is 1 to go for Amity Polstrix at the line. White flag is in the air. 1 to go, presented by PNC. The question is, and it looks like Espinoza's launched and set sail and just gone at this point. Polstrix will come around turn 4 for the final time and will add their name as Champ Car Race winners in 2024. Polstrix takes Gateway. Slicha Zappa in second. Isabel Espinoza in third. Over Katerina Milinkovic, Kira Moore, Bianca Lucero, Seth Smith Jr., Rachel Clevenamy, then you have Mia Vitsut and Nara Takarasi, your top 10. This car is coming down pit lane. Natalia Kurachenko in 11th, Sonia Walker 12th. Over Dale Blanco, Maria Damata, Maria Chavez, Marina Amara, Asada Quito, Karina Sakurachi, and Rika Venalainen, the last of the finishers. A lot of DNFs in this race. Valerie Fang, Arachi Seto, Chase Clark, Sora Hoshino, Rex Riley, Roberto Crown Jr., Yubina Mizuno, Katrina Ochoa, Yuya Ishii, Keisha Fox, Espacia Megalos, Jake Carter, Luisa Floros, and then a do not start for Isabel Lantra, who did not take to the grid. 0 points scored for Lantra, which is not what you wanted to see going into this event. Absolutely wild stuff here from Gateway. 8 races to go. I think the championship's heating up quite nicely as we get into the final stanza of the 2024 season. On behalf of everyone here for the Champ Car Challenger Series for Firestone, Horizon Corporation, and everyone here at Gateway Motorsports Park, and everyone here at ABN Studios, I'm Carmen Sienna. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you next time out. We head to Mexico City. Until next time, so long, everybody.